all, 'cause I know I'm a winner. Knock me down, I'll just get up again. You've met your match, yeah, I'm no beginner. Pokemon, gotta get them all.
Hello guys, this is FortDefender and welcome back to yet another Pokemon video. Today we're going to be going over my top 15 favorite Pokemon cards of all time. So without further ado, let's jump right in. Number 15 on this list is going to be Mega Houndoom EX, back from the X and Y days. And I just think this card is really cool. I like how the name is written out in Japanese there. And you got that flame shooting out from all directions across the card. Houndoom looking like it's jumping off the card. It's just, I don't know, all of it together is just so cool to me. And you got the gold paired with it. I feel like this is the best Houndoom card we've ever had. So this one is definitely in my top 15 just because of its coolness factor. Next one on this list is going to be Mega Blastoise, coming in at number 14. And this card, again, you got the Japanese writing there, and the water just looks so cool and so realistic that this art is just amazing. It's one of my favorite cards, and I believe it's from the set Generations, which is just a really good set. But there's just so much to this card that it looks like it's jumping off out of the card. It's just, I don't know, I feel like this one is done really, really well. And there are some really amazing cards, so I have to put it at 14, but I want to put it on this list somewhere. This is my favorite trainer card, coming in at number 13, and that's the Luzamine card. And I think that this is just so cool because it shows something that's Pokemon, but just not Pokemon at the same time. It's just kind of a combination of something really interesting. The way that the card and Luzamine is posed is just really different than most other cards, and I like this kind of cut off. We don't really get to see everything going on here. It's a little mysterious. The background doesn't give us too much information here, so I feel like this one is just done really, really well, and I like the style of this one. Number 12 on this list is going to be this Mewtwo card here, and I remember this one being really sought after when it came out. But it's just because it got this gold border, and Mewtwo just looks really cool in this art here. And with the background, I don't know, something about it really stands out to me, and it makes it one of my favorite cards. I wish they could have fit more Pokemon onto this card and made it like a full team with Mewtwo leading it, but still a really cool card in my opinion. At number 11, we have this really, really cool Zygarde card in EX form. It's got 3 different moves there, and a lot of Generation 6 cards I know, but this one, oh my goodness, it is just amazing. You got the glowing lights there, and it's just posing over the background with the light shining through, and you got like a thunderstorm going on in the background too. Like, there's just so much going on with this card that, I don't know, I just find it really amazing. And I mean, this is only 11, and things get even more crazy from here. Alright guys, so for number 10, I know this one isn't outrageous, but I really, really like the art style done here. And if you pay attention, it says that this is a Ditto card, and if you look very carefully at the right Numel, you can see that it definitely is not a Numel. That is a Ditto. And I just like the subtlety to this card, how it's blending in, and how you have that different layer, like, there's so much going on. You have these different layers to the background, and you have a foreground, midground, background, and the art style is just really cool, and I feel like it's something you would see, and it makes it really realistic to the Pokemon world. Well, I don't know, I just think that this card, with its simplicity, gives a lot, so I like this one a lot. Next one on this list, we've got this Flareon card, and I think you can see why it is in my top 10. It is just a very, very cool card. Very good art here, very good design, and it's obviously a Flareon card, so Flareon's in the center, not cut off by the other edges there, like Jolteon and Vaporeon, but all 3 are still in the image, which I really, really like. And I think that the set in general had a lot of really good cards, but this one is my favorite because you just got all 3 of the original evolutions here, and I really like the art style that they went with. So this one stands out to me. Next on this list, we have a card with N in it, as well as Reshiram and Zekrom at number 8. And this card is just really cool to me because it shows the two dual sides. You got like this blue side and this red side of two opposites being in the same card, but also working as one. So you don't get to see the division. N is the one unifying both of them. So I think that that's a really neat aspect to it. And you got the lightning with the fire. It's just, oh my goodness, this art style too, awesome. It has a fairy weakness, which doesn't really exist anymore, so it's probably pretty powerful since it doesn't really have a weakness. But that aside, I just like how N is unifying both sides here of two opposites of truth and ideals. So this card is pretty cool to me. At number 7, we got one similar to number 8, and that is Solgaleo and Lunala Tag Team GX. And this one is just so cool as well. You got Lily there, and if you know from the games that she's the one that had a Cosmog, which is the pre-evolution. So having both here is really cool. And then you get Lunala with the moon in the upper right, and then you have the sunset and the sun in the bottom left side, with Lunala kind of dividing the card in half with its wings. I just think that that's a really, really nice touch. And I don't know, I like this one a little bit more than the other one, just because I feel like it's more dynamic with everybody's poses, but that's just my personal opinion, so I had to include it in this top 10. Coming in at number 6, oh boy, we got this Samurott card, ESsilion Samurott Vstar, and it is just really, really cool. We got the dark flame shooting out, and it is just real sinister and real dark, and I just love how this card looks. We got it centered real nicely there, and I don't know what's gonna happen to that Snorunt. Well, I definitely would not want to be that Snorunt in this image here, and the art style is just amazing. I really like how they did that like gold outline to Samurott, because that just helps to add to the card with all the other gold text and gold plating and detail, and it helps to make the Samurott stand out. So I think that this one turned out really, really nice, and I had to include it. Now entering the top 5, we're going to have some real crazy cards, and this is ESsilion Zoroark Vstar, another Vstar. This one is just so cool, taking that gold theme and going even further, and it's almost like it's an ancient art style, kind of like how they used to do it for, I think of like Chinese drawings, where I mean that's where a lot of stuff came from, like Rayquaza and Pokemon like that. So that's what it just reminds me of, that type of art style of the more distant past Chinese drawings. I like that style a lot. It doesn't really have the ink bleed as much. That would have been a really nice touch, but I still rank this in the top 5. So for this card at number 4, we have so much going on, and this card is Team Aqua's Kyogre EX, and we got a lot of water types here. We got Sharpedo, we got Kyogre. I guess Survivor's not a water type, but that's alright. We got Walrein, and we also got, I think, a Team Aqua Grunt and a Team Aqua Admin right there. Just a really cool art. There's also one of Groudon. I'm not going to include it since they're pretty much the same concept, but I like the Kyogre one just a little bit more, so that's why I included this one. But I just think that it's a real neat concept card, and this was a really good set. I'm sad we didn't get one like this again, but really good set overall, and top 4. Oh my gosh, this card at number 3, Arceus Vstar Gold with the sun. Oh my goodness, there is just so much to this card with the clouds, I believe, and that mountain in the back. You can just feel the power radiating from this card. And this is what Arceus deserves. Arceus deserves to be treated like this, not just some normal type that gets destroyed by fighting types and is not super effective against anything. This is the Arceus, the most important Pokemon to exist. And I think this card just showcases it so well. And man, that is just a real nice card to look at. I think that this was a great addition to the TCG collection and a great addition for an Arceus card. So top 3 for me. Coming in at number 2, oh my goodness, How is this dual card so freaking cool? We got Darkrai and Cresselia legend card, only 150 HP, but that's alright. That Darkrai is absolutely terrifying, and I love it so much. I am so happy this card exists, because that is the best version of Darkrai I've ever seen, and it actually makes him look so terrifying, like nightmare feel. In Cresselia, that is just a real beautiful representation of Cresselia, and it's kind of like the tag team cards, but it takes it to a whole new freaking level. So guys, this had to be number 2. There's also a bunch of other Legends cards which are very, very similar, but I think that this is the best one of those. So number 2 for me. For number 1, we have Mega Rayquaza EX, and this full art edition of it is just amazing. Remember how before I said that I really like the Japanese on the cards for the Mega, and I think for the Japanese cards it's English, but oh my goodness, this card, there's just so much going on here. I love Rayquaza, I love Mega Rayquaza. This card and its art is top tier with the gold highlights. It's just amazing. I am so fortunate to own this card because I have always thought it was the best Pokemon card to ever exist. Others may disagree with me, but I really, really like this card. There's just so much to it that really highlights Rayquaza as a Pokemon, and it just looks so menacing to use in battle. Oh my goodness. But this had to be number 1 on my list. Well guys, I hope you enjoyed this video and maybe saw some cards that you didn't know existed already. There's some real beautiful cards in Pokemon TCG, and this isn't even scratching the surface. There's a lot that I left out in this top 15. These are just my top 15 personal favorites. There's so many more amazing ones that are left to view, so I recommend going through. I went and looked through so many cards to make this list just to verify my picks, and I feel pretty confident about my picks, and I'd love to know what they are down in the comments if you want to tell me. And guys, I hope you enjoyed this video. If you did, make sure to hit that like and subscribe button, and I'll see you in the next one.